Good evening. It's Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole! What separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
Your wonderful, exceptional boomer. That would be me, Boomer Rex.
That we're so drowned in the ennui of the death of empire that we can't even be bothered to rotate our pictures the right way around.
Yeah, okay.
I had a thing, and then you jumped all in with both feet, and I didn't want to do anything bad to it, because I was like, he's helping, and look at you, having fun.
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Yeah.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning that's three unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. I can talk.
Last night he tried to eat, breathe, and sleep, or not sleep, Mr. Robot.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. It is just the news Monday, so let's dig right into our headlines. Dolphins spotted doing something unusual. What is this?
Unusual or unnatural? Dolphins are like the
Yeah, I
frat
know.
boys of the sea.
That's true.
So, anyway, yeah, there are some bad boy dolphins.
Yeah.
Don't
Ask
fuck with
anybody
dolphins,
who's ever
people.
trained them.
I had that whole family of thing. It's like
Yeah.
humans. Just, no, don't go near there. Why? It's got fucking space measles.
And the bad ones tend to be boys.
No shit.
So, anyway. No.
They have a penis that want to knock things over with it.
Yeah. Starting with trainers. Okay, anyway, so in the Red Sea off of the coast of Egypt in 2009, dolphins were spotted and they were lining up to rub themselves on coral.
That seems odd. I thought
Well-
getting stabbed by coral was ungood.
Well, this is one of the soft corals, right?
Okay.
But it was very clear that they were lining up to rub themselves on a specific coral. So anyway, further investigation is, this is their medicine chest, guys. Bioactive compounds in the mucus released by two different types of coral and sea sponge help the dolphins fight off skin diseases.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
Ocean's
why they were
gross.
rubbing it on themselves.
You don't want to live in the ocean.
So
You
anyway,
get ick and die.
yeah, but I want to know why. How did dolphins learn this?
Success. Apparently
Yeah.
at some point it
The
became
same way
important.
monkeys chew up flies and smash them in each other's wounds.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Same way. Now, why they did it the first time and how they recognized it worked, not as clear as it might be. But then, how the fuck did people learn to brew beer?
Yeah.
Back
Or make
when-
sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, which...
Because
which
there's a
lot
whole
of
step in that where we're just throwing that pot away. It took a long time to make. Yeah, I know, and you're going to make the new one tomorrow because you made that happen in that one.
Yeah,
We probably can't make that clean, man. We don't...
yeah,
Do you want me to put that in the river? I don't think so.
yeah. Nope, and I think I remember reading somewhere that literally cave-dwelling humans had fermented.
It's got to be found fruit, right?
Yeah.
You find a
Yeah,
ditch effectively full of...
No, it's the same
fruit.
way you see, is it squirrels or something? They eat the...
Oh, it's
The
all
rotting
kinds
fruit?
of shit.
Yeah, they eat the rotting fruit and get drunk.
Drunk baboons is the scariest I've seen. Elephants are scary because they're big.
because they sit on things.
Yeah.
Stumble into things.
Yeah, but that's not baboons. You can see all the same human. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's entirely too human.
Yeah. And you can get hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so dolphins using medicine. That's definitely
It's
something
kind
y'all
of
need to
cute.
take
I like
note.
that.
Yeah.
Take
And if
note
I
of.
ever have to live in the sea, I'm going to remember it.
Right?
All right, so you know exactly what type of coral this is and exactly what it looks like.
Yeah,
Think-
we just
Well,
rub a
I've got
bunch
the
of
names
coral on a
here
bunch of
so I
stuff.
can.
All right, we'll
Right.
figure it out. All right, Russia declares travel ban on nearly 1,000 Americans. What is going
Lucky
on?
God, you gotta.
motherfuckers.
I know you gotta love this.
I would
So-
go to your destination wedding, but
Yeah, you gotta love it, right? So Russia's back to saying here 963 new Americans, including Biden and Lincoln, who can't visit shitholistan.
Oh no!
Aw shucks, gosh,
No,
that
they
must
have
really
fascist
made them
bears for
unhappy. And who the fuck do the Russians think they are? And the better part of this, right? So they also added 26 new Canadians. But the best part of it is their two best choices for banning, right, were Defense Intelligence Agency Deputy Director Melissa Driscoll and Senator John McCain, both of whom died in 2018. And so now you've learned everything you needed to know about Russia.
Wow,
Not
their
only is it
intelligence is
shitholistan,
old as fuck.
it's also incompetent stan.
Yeah, their intelligence is so behind.
It's worse. This is the best thing. I love this bit.
Are they trolling us?
No,
No,
This-
they're that bad.
that's when it stopped working.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when they switched over. Because the Soviets, you can say a lot of things about them, and most of them are going to be rude. But they were so good at this kind of shit. We used to have professionals who looked at pictures in the background to tell who was rising and falling.
Yeah.
And in this can't do that. This is what corporations can't do.
Yeah.
Since almost all organized crime is run about like an American corporation turned up to 11.
Yeah. So anyway, I found it amusing. And again, who the fuck wants to go to shitholistan?
Right.
Right? It's sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, the Russians. You guys should do something about that. Your government's
In
all
fact,
fucked
I'll
up.
bet a whole bunch of shitholistanese don't want to be in shitholistan.
Right? No.
So
I-
they're running
fix your
away.
country.
All the
Good.
competent,
Stay
young,
and fix it.
educated Russians are trying to get the fuck out.
Good.
Right. Stay and fix it.
I agree. Throw Putin out a fourth floor window and be done with it.
Defenestration is always an option.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do the crimes, people. All right. Belarus's dictator encourages the world to let Putin continue on in Ukraine. What insanity is this, sir? Tell
Right.
me this.
Together in each of our roles, we can do a lot. We can refrain from the supply of weapons, right? From inflating hate speech in the media, encouraging racism and fuck him,
Yep.
right? Your fucking Nazis from Russia are down there killing Ukrainians for no fucking purpose. They're doing so incompetently,
Yep.
and you are supporting Pooty Boy.
They made a little
And
21-year-old.
so here's my recommendation on that one, is that we should immediately make Belarus subject to every
Oh,
single
absolutely.
sanction we have imposed on Russia.
You want to
yeah.
be Russia? Go sit on their side of the table.
That's right. And
It looks a
Lukashenko
lot
could
fucking
go
different.
fuck himself.
Yeah, let
That'd be
fucking
my-
Russia come in and take your country.
That'd be
Have
my
fun.
answer to China.
Do
It's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
You did your one thing.
So anyway, could have kept your mouth shut, little boy. And I'm sure Putin told you to go do it.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
one of Putin's little boys. But, Pooty Boy's losing his influence. So anyhow,
You see there, one of
love
their
it.
people was predicting he's going to be in a sanitarium by the end of this.
well, we certainly hope so.
Aye. It's the only way the state can play it out and be like, he's got a fucking tumor.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, oops.
And here, we'll get right out of Ukraine because
And we're going to
I
have
know he was
trials.
fucking crazy. Yeah.
Right, because that's the only thing the Russians can take away with this. Is the nice thing is once you can get back to some state of normality,
Yes.
is you can conduct bullshit trials and get rid of whoever you want to get rid of anyway.
And then start talking about restoring some relations and so on. There's reasonably wide speculation that one of the reasons they have done so incredibly badly, and their intelligence was just complete pig fuck shit, was that they hired a bunch of the former Ukrainian leadership,
Oh,
who then told them their little pipe dreams about how the Ukrainians would greet them
it's
with
exactly
bread
what we
and
did with
salt
Iraq.
and- yeah, just nuts.
We hired people who had a dog in this fight, and they told us that dog was the best dog.
Yeah.
He's
Didn't
the
work out that well
friendly
for
and
us either.
good, and
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do if you find you surrender? Shit, that's kind of the
Yeah.
only. I was going to say, what do you do if you wake up tomorrow as a Russian lieutenant and that or my guys and I are going for walks in the woods and we ain't shooting
Yeah.
at fucking nobody, Dave. I will kill any of you that shoot at some fucking Ukrainian.
Yep.
all right. After 3 months of war, life in Russia has profoundly changed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry, Russians.
Well, and it's changed in a place that's going to hurt Russia beyond words. So,
Where?
what?
Where?
In the gum department store.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's empty,
Oh shit.
right? So these were the beginnings of Western
Yeah, this was
culture.
a big deal. This is like the Hermitage having to sell some shit. This is
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Well, and the best of it is,
The
it was
Soviets
the
kept it full.
Well, but
Enough.
it was the Soviet leadership that got to go there. Now it's the young, educated Russians who could go and buy from IKEA
Yeah.
and so forth and so on. And those stores are either gone or locked. And we have hurt them in the worst possible way.
The most mobile
Which
part
was
of their
the
generation.
most mobile, the most productive, the most likely to speak out and do something.
Their future.
The ones who can fuck you the hell up in ways that you will never be able to fix. Right? Just on their way out the door.
Nobody will hate you the way a patriot does.
That was your backup, wasn't it?
That was your best and brightest.
Damn.
You were fucked here.
So anyway,
Well, they're criminals.
they're saying many ordinary Russians are just reeling from this. It's worse. Those were the guys who were employed in those stores, right? They had a foot on the rung and they're gone.
Yep.
Folks, this was really dumb.
Well,
Way to go,
A, looking
booty
for
boy.
a new rice bowl. B, I know this has released a bunch of free radicals into the Russian economy, which hasn't always done well with that.
That's right. Well, and the only thing that hasn't happened is Pooty Boy hasn't gotten up and said, "You won't recognize your capital," which of course was Hitler's great line right before we
Made it so you didn't recognize
made
their capital.
no two stones stood upon each other. Anyway, gotta love it.
All right. Boomer Rex is about damn time. Tell me the good news, sir.
Okay, so here's one. I want to compliment Apple.
Well, shit, that's weird.
Yeah,
well, they're about to be at a point where
Barnabas,
they can.
give me the Rotten Tomatoes. We'll see.
Yeah. There was a large homeless encampment that Apple wanted to move off their property and build on that area last year. And so they contracted, right, for a 9-month motel stay and support for, finding them medical resources and counseling and so forth and so on, and permanent homes. So anyway, they've spent millions of dollars on this.
Yeah.
And they've successfully placed about a third of them in much more permanent housing, right? So they're trying to get them out of homelessness. So the sort of things they've been having to work through, right? We're talking about people who spent years living outside, right? They're working through their arrests, their addictions, other obstacles. They're trying to get them medical attention, mental health attention, right? So this is not an easy group to work with, right? And Apple has spent some serious money trying, and with what appeared to be serious people trying to help. And again, we may find out next week that Apple just got ripped blind. By, whatever.
Itself. Who knows?
But anyway, this was, I think they had 24 of them. They've managed to place 8. And they spent millions of dollars. Well, this tells you something about how difficult it is to handle the homeless, right? Because among other things, San Jose has 6,700 homeless people, right? So again, this is not going to be easy. You have to get the resources out there, and you've got to try to do things. And so the sort of things that have intervened. One woman turned down a permanent housing opportunity because it didn't have a private bathroom. And her experience with previous environments told her that having a shared bathroom was not someplace she wanted to go.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Which, if you're not going to support that housing organization, right, and keep it running right, that's exactly right. It's not safe.
No, I had a friend who lived in one of those weird apartment complexes that had, like a bathroom, like each floor had one bathroom, and you had to share it with everybody. And she usually used our place to shower because, I don't remember. I think he was trans. But anyway, If
Yeah.
I remember, this was years ago, so my memory is kind of vague, but
Anyway, so good on Apple for trying.
Yep.
They've got about 3 weeks left in their 9 months, and we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, Apple, if you walk away, fuck you. And I
Yeah.
not only won't buy an Apple product, I won't look at an Apple product.
That wasn't a worry for me, but
Yeah,
yeah, no.
I was unlikely to buy an Apple product.
Apple, you will never
super
get my
user
money
needs means
short
you're
of.
out of the Apple market.
Yeah.
They make the best Duplo stuff there is, and I love them for it. That's what I grew up on, but since I didn't go full art kid until late, like I didn't grow up doing graphics design on
Yeah.
I knew they couldn't play video games, and that was sort of where we parted company.
All right. We have come up to dumbass of the day. QAnon content warning. This is where I make the obligatory comment that we don't believe anything being said by the person or people in the following story. Also, please look to WHO, which is the World Health Organization, when you need COVID or vaccine information. Everything that follows are the lies of charlatans and includes COVID and vaccine misinformation.
Hey, as much rocks as I'll throw at the CDC, I do listen to the WHO.
Yeah.
It's good
Or
thing.
to average the two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay.
what
so-
crazy have they found now? What new rock have they flipped?
All right. So this Reawaken America tour, right? This is the start of QAnon 2.0. So they got to go back to the greats, right? I mean, Stella Emanuel, you'll know her better as Dr. Demon Seaman. Yeah. She was the one who just pushed hydroxychloroquine as a cure, right? And it's total bullshit.
Yeah.
It had no effect whatsoever.
No. And if anything, it hurt people. Didn't it cause problems?
I know that there was no evidence that it helped.
Is that where the horse-based
Isn't
garbage
that
started?
the horse paste that people were taking?
I don't think so. I think this is a different one.
Oh. Yeah, you might be right.
Oh, look, since we're doing...
I mean, the
our-
horse paste was ivermectin,
Yes.
which also did nothing
Yeah.
for
No,
him.
no, exactly.
No, you're right.
Can't tell one sham medicine from another without a program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just know they're all bullshit.
Oh my god, I want to bring back cigarette people.
So now she was saying that demons were the cause of most illness and that demon semen was causing women trouble. And
So the men that the women were fucking were the problem.
well, identifying,
This
you know,
is what happens
the
when
Q-tards
religions
as
provide a lot of
demons
your not
is
NGO
kind of
medical.
accurate. But anyway, she says she's not sure that Joe Biden and other public figures are even alive.
Yeah.
Right. Just until we start believing that, these creatures are not human, and you think about, Nancy Pelosi and Biden, and these are, this is, these are demon clones, right?
You know what?
No.
No. I'm willing to believe there are demon clones out there, but if anything, it's this bitch and all her ilk.
Yes.
Okay? Like, these are the crazy people who I don't consider human beings. Fuck my life.
Yeah, I just,
Yep.
Damn.
No, and it annoys me because it starts off as an idiot's version of Julius Caesar's his wake for eulogy for Caesar.
yes.
Right, because you want to get the sympathy thing going because it's not their fault, they're whatever, and then you've got to make this hard turn to get to demonic, and
Yeah.
the only answer from there is, oh, and you got to kill him.
No,
Like, because if you believed any of that garbage, you'd have, like, what are you doing in your house?
no,
If you believed aliens were, like, somewhere in your neighborhood killing and hurting people,
Yeah.
go get your pitchfork, and I guess you and your friends are going to hunt an alien.
Yeah.
What I want to know is how did we go so far from throwing people into the loony bin for
We got rid of the loony bins.
really
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous things
Instead, we
to
had the internet.
allowing these people to have political fucking power and run the goddamn country. Where did that crossover fucking happen? Can we just start putting people back in loony bins again?
2002,
Fuck my
2003,
life.
you could still see the end of my live journal behind us.
Yeah.
A lot of people started using parts of the internet as effectively talk therapy or free form writing, and then that took off as they were allowed to just upload whatever. I mean, hell, that's the evolution of how we ended up here.
Yeah.
Right, but like we share truth and fact and
But this table incentivizes that, right? That you're penalized for off-topic statements or, right? There's a way the word game works and flows that requires that, right?
Well,
That
and-
you want, you get points for having the newest, best source,
Yeah.
Well,
right? And being able to argue, it's posted from 10 minutes ago. So at worst, we're dealing with a rumor, but if it's true, this. If it's not, that.
Right.
But like literally, these are conversations that we had around this table every night for
yeah.
a long time.
We've laughed at her,
before.
this lady, but specifically this lady before.
Before we ever
Yeah.
started doing this show, and my point is that we started this show to get the truth out there.
Yeah.
That's our whole intent. Is we want people to understand that these people are insane, fucking crazy. They belong on medication or talking to a therapist or
Weird.
something.
Here for
These
totally
people are
different reasons.
fucking crazy.
I'm here because the server's going down. Like, the American server is getting shut down, and we're going to have an end of server party like nobody's had an end of server party. Again, kind of like when the Irish, half the Irish decided to move and or die.
Yeah.
And decided is an awfully loaded word intentionally. But,
Sure.
no, these people are batshit crazy, and it scares me how they crowdsource so much of their detail and nonsense. And just look at what's popular and then shove off that way.
It's just, yeah.
All right,
no,
so
it's-
we're
Did
gonna
the ones
get.
in Dallas turn up dead yet?
Hold on, we're gonna be able to come back to this because what I want to talk about at the end of the show tonight is directly related to all
Okay,
this
crazies,
discussion.
okay.
So let's move forward.
So I'm going to introduce the next one, which is to say, I am shocked. I am shocked to find out that top Southern Baptist Stonewalled clergy sex abuse victims.
No.
Just shocked, incredulous. I simply cannot believe that happened.
I'm clutching my pearls.
I know.
I really need to get. I keep saying
need
I
some
need
pearls.
a set of pearls,
Yeah.
but I fucking need.
Well, we can hang them
Somebody
on the
give
wall.
us
so
money.
you can reach
Go
out.
to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook. Give us money so that I can buy a set of pearls that I can clutch
Appropriately clutch. yeah.
appropriately.
Oh my God. So anyway, the background on this is this started to unravel a couple of years ago, and the executive committee had decided they would investigate themselves. And what? The
Churches,
Southern-
not just molesting your kids.
Oh my God. Anyway.
It's not just for kids.
You almost
Oh,
made me
fuck.
snarf.
Anyway.
Folks, I want a different seat. I'm sorry, you were saying.
No, the executive committee wanted to investigate itself,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh,
And so
fuck that.
If it's good enough for Border Patrol, why isn't it
the
good enough for
Southern
these
Baptist Convention said, no, you can't do that. You have to have an independent
Fuck me.
investigation, which published a scathing 288-page report on
Oh, yeah.
Sunday. So, anyway,
kids? Fuck, man, that's annoying. I don't like agreeing with the Southern Baptist. Good job, guys.
yeah, nicely done. So,
This
we
one
will see
time in
now.
one frame.
We will see now how many of the current executive committee were around for this and how quickly they are sent away in dishonor and disgrace.
Right?
And my guess is that what we're going to get is thoughts and prayers.
Move them around, just like Robin Williams said.
Yep.
Where's the priest? Where's the priest? Where's the pedophile? Here's the priest. Here's the pedophile. Move them around.
Anyway, survivors had said repeatedly that the Southern Baptist Convention's executive committee had met them with resistance, stonewalling, and outright hostility. The 7-month investigation was conducted by Guidepost Solutions, an independent firm contracted by, right. So here's what they say. Our investigation revealed that for many years, a few senior EC leaders, who are they? Give me their names, along with outside counsel, largely controlled the executive committee's response to these reports of abuse and were singularly focused on avoiding liability for the Southern Baptist Convention. Big fucking shock. This is what's known as Big Galwa Duh. It is an industry.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is run by exactly the same people who run every other industry. It has nothing to do with religion and everything to do with profit and payroll and so on.
Yeah.
So,
If you go to one of these evangelical massive churches, like that's not a real church. Just so you know.
So anyway, SBC President Ed Litton said in a statement Sunday, he is grieved to his core for the victims and thanked God for their work propelling the the Southern Baptist Convention to this moment. As I said, thoughts and prayers. So it is my
Fuck these
prediction that
people.
what we will see.
No, this is infuriating because I was raised Roman Catholic and never once was I ever, afraid of this sort of a thing. I was an altar server
Oh,
at my church. Like, that's how much I believed.
Yeah.
And, I steered away from that as I got older, and I realized it was a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of old white men trying to tell me how to live my fucking life, and it was stupid. And they didn't have the answers that I fucking needed, so I went elsewhere to people who had answers that actually made some amount of sense to me. But the point is that to see what I was raised in perverted like this, it just offends me in ways that I can't even.
yeah.
It's offensive.
Yeah, no,
Anyway, so we will see if the Southern Baptist Convention takes any effective action whatsoever. My prediction is that they will not.
or if it's just always the grift. Like, that's the thing. When it started looking like church was keeping an eye on its own ledger in terms of, well, we'll do a good thing to offset this one bad thing. And it kind of looks that way. Or at least like they're playing more aware of it than I really want churches to if they're going to claim to be the good thing.
Yeah.
All right, so these
So
people...
maybe you should go find some actually decent people to sit on your executive committee.
Yeah.
Because it's clear the ones who were sitting there are filth.
Got into religion
Oh,
because
yeah.
they knew it was a place to find easy fucking marks.
Oh, always, every fucking time. All right, Trump Jr. caught in felony poaching scandal.
Okay, so let's be honest about
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Right,
Thank
Trump Jr. wasn't involved in the felony, right? The reason I put this one in here is because it's the perfect example of what the rich assholes like Trump Jr. get, which is he hasn't been on a bear hunt, right? He's been allowed to go out and shoot a bear that was baited to a specific spot so he could shoot it. It just, none of their experience is real. They haven't done anything that was real.
No.
So anyway, the felony is for the guides who did this and led him to the spot to shoot the bear, et
Pastries.
cetera,
They
et
used
cetera, et
motherfucking
cetera.
pastries.
Yeah. So,
The industry of human desserts used to kill an animal for
yeah,
so fucking Junior could feel his dick was big.
right.
Junior, you're filth.
Yeah, well,
That
you
is
could.
my opinion. My opinion is that you are the lowest of the low, and if there are inhuman demons on this world, my opinion is you are one of them.
Hey,
Just
Trumpy
saying.
Jr., baby boy, you should sue them for having lied to you.
Oh, there
You
you
are
go.
a victim
That's
of
true.
fraud.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, Trump Jr., you have a chance. Go
Aye.
that route. Do
This
it.
is what pisses me off about the dumb shit world we have. Because if we lived in the cool universe, that's what would happen, right?
Yeah.
Some PR firm would be like, "Hey, no, you need to sue him." I don't know what does he own. You're gonna own all of it, so
Yeah.
because this does irreparable damage to you and
Right.
isn't the kind of hunting you engage in. You blah blah blah.
Right.
Important part of conservation. There's a song and dance.
Just like
It'll take me
having
2
the
minutes to learn.
dickhead NRA guy so frightened he couldn't
yeah.
even shoot the elephant.
I know.
Oh my God.
Good. Don't fucking shoot elephants.
That's-
what the fuck is
yeah.
wrong with people?
Well, I don't
And
think he
he
wound
shot
up
it
shooting the
badly.
elephant.
And so it just
I'm
sat
not
there
sure he
all
ever
fucked
hit
up.
the elephant.
Fine. God, I
Anyway.
know. But the
But
story
the
doesn't
video
end
is
with a living
hilarious.
elephant.
He's clearly terrified, can't manage his weapon.
Yeah.
Just exactly what you'd expect from dickhead NRA.
Exactly what you'd expect when gun culture has made gun ownership a
Yep.
measure of masculinity. When are you fucking insane?
Right.
It's a tool. That's like if we had decided randomly that it was fucking nail guns. Could you imagine what we'd be like? We'd be more industrious as a country, I guess. But
All right, let's move on. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall believes cartoon characters can turn you LGBTQ. Now, first, I want to ask a question, sir. Is he going after Bugs Bunny? Is that his thing?
It wasn't on the list, but
Yeah. Well, because Bugs Bunny was a cross-dresser famously, and I certainly am not a cross-dress. I mean, I love wearing men's
yeah.
clothing. It's comfortable, it's loose, it's whatever, but it had nothing to do with watching Bugs Bunny, who was a male and would wear female
is that really
clothing.
the origin of his complaint, or are we just?
No, Bugs Bunny
okay.
was he
Yeah.
was a cross-dresser.
Hey, when I heard
he
this,
would
I thought, with
drag
augmented
queen,
reality,
yeah.
you could do right. Your kidnappers be cartoon characters all
My
the time.
point is
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a whole generation of millennials and Gen Xers who were raised on Looney Tunes, and there
Yeah.
was a lot of that in there, and not all of us came out gay. Like,
Yeah. So
saying.
anyway, it's become clear the Republican Party thinks they found a really winning issue in the LGBTQ issue.
Because they've obviously forgot the 90s as well.
And they're betting that generating animus toward LGBTQ Americans is going to be a big winner in the election year. And if it is, America is less than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah.
Did he list Animaniacs in that as well?
So let's see. So now the Kansas junior senator is taking his culture war fight to Hollywood and making it about kids. So he led 4 fellow GOP senators in sending a letter to the board of the TV Parental Guidelines, a congressionally mandated consortium that provides content ratings, and asked it to update its criteria for the warnings it puts on children's programs, citing parents raising legitimate concerns on sexual orientation and gender identity content. It talks about the motivations of hypersexualized entertainment producers striving to push this content on young arguments that is suspect at best and predatory at worst. You know, it's all the standard re-thug horse shit, right? And if you've got an IQ above 70 and you believe that, you are mentally defective.
Right.
Okay. So, what do we have? He had some examples, I thought. He warns about modeling behavior that influences children. And he's confusing depicting sexual situations that simply feature people who aren't heterosexual or gender conforming, right? And as it's nobody's having sex on these shows.
Okay, so
right?
Ren and Stimpy's on the list.
Sure.
Beavis and Butthead.
I guess. Anyway, these programs are simply acknowledging the fact that there are people outside of the gender norms of sexual orientation.
I don't even think
And
that. I think they're
there's
going for the cheap
there's nothing
laugh.
instruction.
I don't feel like there's any deep. See, I feel like people are looking too deeply into cartoons for like, oh, there's some deep-seated ideas about transgender. No, it's
That
funny. They're
probably
going
says-
for the cheap laugh. That's all it is.
And it probably says something rude about the junior senator from wherever's reading level.
Yes.
So wait. Is he also upset about Popeye and how Popeye, places, fucking what's her name? Olive. As this screaming thing that can't defend herself all the time, because that's inappropriate.
No, that's Pluto, usually. But
Pluto's going after her.
he's usually kidnapping her.
Right.
Yeah, fine.
But my point is that she is this helpless,
Yeah.
like,
No, that's definitely he's
Hasn't kicked Bluto in the
groin.
groin once. I'd love to redo those. Right? You could have so much fun with that. Hey, Hollywood, there is a chance you can do, revisit 3 or 4 cartoons, right? And redo them in the modern, so you've got, you have female heroines, right, who turn out to be able to just take the asshole down. So, anyway.
no, and what was
Betty
that
Boop
movie
was
where they
probably
would
out.
always tie that girl up and throw her on the tracks? What was
Right.
that cartoon?
No idea.
Anyway,
I know what he's talking
so
about.
and he
It's
had
effectively
the
Dudley
bad
Do-Right.
guy had
It may
that
affect me,
mustache
Dudley
that
Do-Right.
like turned up, the
That's all
little
the
turn
bad
up
guys.
mustache. It was a
Somebody
racing
Whiplash?
show.
Yeah.
Oh,
A show
no.
about racers.
No.
And they
Okay,
would
yeah,
race
that's the
Huckleberry
Amazing Race.
type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
It is
so,
the Dudley Do-Right knockoff character.
But the cool thing about her was she would at least be beating him over the head and being like, help, while she was like beating him with a chair or something, or like just banging him, like slapping him and stuff. But like at least she fought.
Yeah.
Like she let them take him to a second. She let them take her to a second location, so she failed. But the point is that she at least fought back. But my point is that he is going like again. This was all about the cheap laugh. This is nothing. People are looking too deeply into these fucking cartoons. Like,
I didn't see his list, so.
Yeah.
did you find the list? No.
No.
All right, maybe tomorrow
Sorry.
we'll dig up the list and
Yeah.
we'll discuss each cartoon and why
Yeah,
he's
me
dumb.
too.
You're gambling a lot that we see these cartoons.
I've
No,
probably
you
seen
haven't.
a lot of them.
You haven't seen any of them.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. They're all very modern.
Oh, then I've probably seen some of them because I have a son who's.
Yeah, maybe.
So
maybe
I've
the
probably
last
seen some of
few
them.
years. So.
But anyway, we'll look into it and we'll see if we can come up with, whatever's. But anyway, let's move on to a new segment. Please wake up, old Uncle Joe, half-step Joe Biden. Tell me about concern about monkeypox.
Hey, Democrats, somebody get a fucking gag on Joe Biden. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes.
So what does the moron say? Over the weekend, he says everybody should be concerned about monkeypox. Nobody should be concerned about monkeypox, right? It's idiotic to be concerned about monkeypox unless you are one of a very small group of people, right? That we're beginning, we think, to understand. But this is, what kind of idiocy are you babbling? Where did you get this shit? Did you talk to anybody with an MD before you babbled in front of the world and made yourself look enfeebled?
Well, it made the left look like it's fighting from a crouch, which...
Yeah, God damn. Uncle Joe, shut the fuck up. So, anyway, the other thing he did this weekend, he was asked, would the U.S. respond militarily to the invasion of Taiwan, and he said yes.
So, good job.
Yep.
One step forward, one step back.
Yeah. So here's the take back, right, which came out immediately. And I love what it says. As the president said, our policy has not changed. No, he changed your policy in public, fucktards. He reiterated our one China policy. No, he seriously did not reiterate your one China policy.
He said if one China showed up at the other China's house, America would shoot
fight
him in the neck.
Yeah. He did not reiterate our commitment to peace and stability, et cetera, et cetera.
That's not what I heard, yeah.
And he did not reiterate our commitment under the Taiwan Relations Act to, quote, provide Taiwan with the military means to defend itself, which does not include U.S. military. So somebody please explain to retard Biden what the facts are. And I suggest, of course, now China has come out with a really manly statement in response and so forth, which we can't respond to because old, slow, half-step Joe said something stupid. And now the Chinese get to correct him in public, and there's not a fucking thing he can do about it because he's stupid. And then the last one. So, Joe Biden is totally in favor of means testing for student loan forgiveness.
Right.
His threshold for that is $125,000 a year. Less than 5% of the holders of student loans have an income in that range. But it's worse than that, because if you do put an income limit on it, then you have to show what your income is. And many of the most fucked of the student loan holders can't do that. And so they would be ineligible for help because they can't show what their income was last year, either because they didn't make enough to report it or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and his idea is we'll give $10,000 to each of them. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. Old half-step. And this is, again, right?
This is Obama.
This is banker. This is banker boy Joe, right? He can't find it in himself to say this would be a good idea. This would liberate a bunch of people to go do the things that they're supposed to be doing with their life and we already know that colleges cooperated with banks to write them into bad fucking loans.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they did it everywhere. And the colleges were paid to do it. So one of the things you could do is start an investigation and then sue the colleges for some of what you have forgiven. Right?
Yeah. You want to know how to fix
or
this
sue
problem?
The banks and only pay part of it.
You want to know how to fix this problem? Announce that you're going to investigate it and convince them you are.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I bet a lot of these problems fuck right off.
Yeah.
No, because the interest rates on these loans are insane.
Oh, yeah.
I had a girlfriend that
There were federal programs that had quite low rates,
Then we killed them.
but the colleges were paid by banks to steer students into different programs.
Oh, nice. So it was all for-profit education.
Yeah,
right. And I had a friend who
in many places.
paid to, who went to college for a bachelor's degree in business, right? She was working the same jobs as me with a family of 2 children and, husband, whatever. And, she was getting all these calls for her late student loans and such. And she was freaking out because she's like, I don't even know how to deal with these people. I said, you call them and you tell them this is how much I can give you a month. End of discussion. When they try to say, well, you make X amount, so you need to give us this. No, I have 2 children. I have a husband. I have,
Of course, what
whatever.
that means is that you turn a $40,000 loan into a $250,000 loan,
Oh, I'm
which
sure
is
she's
not
still
uncommon.
paying it. Yeah.
No, she hasn't been paying it. It's been getting bigger.
Right.
Yep.
She's just paying the bare minimum.
She's not
Yeah.
even paying the interest. So anyway, and then with that in place, there's no way that she will ever get a house
Yep.
because that debt comes first.
No, and the only
You don't
reason
even
why
escape college debt through debt.
she was able to have an apartment is because her father or her husband's father, one of the family
Yeah.
members, owned the apartment complex and allowed
Hey,
them to.
the
No,
lad-
it looked like a good idea, and as usual, the fucking banks turned it into a fucking scam.
Well, they found a way to make money just laying in the cuts, and they
But-
need
but
to improve the money.
Can I just remind people that I never went to college and was making the same money as her?
Yeah.
She went to
Oh,
college,
the kids
and
we
she
detonated to do this,
was working the
wrecked
same
the
job as
economy.
me.
right? Jamming them back down on the system, right? Not only did it destroy their futures, it destroyed the futures for the routes for kids who didn't go to college.
I know. Yep. All right, now
Yeah,
we have
but-
some updates.
Updates with BoomerX health threats.
Okay, so we're reporting more and more of the hepatitis-like diseases in young children, right? So CDC's been working down a list of potential ways this could be happening. So one of them is that there is a stomach bug, this is the adenovirus 41, right, that is causing more cases, right, of a previous, possibly undetected problem, right? How different are the rates? Well, it looks like the rates are pretty high, so we should have noticed it before. The next question is, are children more susceptible due to pandemic-related lockdowns that sheltered them from the viruses they would normally encounter, right? It's possible that in the early periods that they were largely protected by their mother's immunities, which gradually wear off,
Yeah.
right? And that by not getting them exposed, we
Yep.
didn't get them effectively the booster shot,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, is there some mutated version of the adenovirus, or some other as yet undetected germ, right? Those are possibilities. And is it some kind of haywire immune system reaction set off by a past COVID-19 infection and later invasion by the other virus, right? We know, for instance, that some pathogens reset your immune system. You lose all of your immunity when you
call measles, but yeah,
so
a cute idea.
yeah. Anyway, they're looking in all the right places.
Have you stumbled across any discussions of random heart conditions that's apparently been happening in teenagers, 14 to 18
It's
years
been
old?
happening in all young men under the age of about 30. It has a very low occurrence rate. And it
acute
was
death.
associated, what?
It's the acute death.
No, this was the heart damage related to the vaccine. And it was related to a specific vaccine and in a specific group of young men. So,
Right, but there's another group who were outside the range of it being caused by vaccines, and I wasn't sure if you had heard anything about that.
Right. And I don't know how you would determine that.
What do you mean?
What do you mean outside the range of caused by
So the
vaccines?
ones who were caused by, or who were decided was caused by the vaccines, happened within a certain time frame of getting the vaccine. Some of these are happening much after that original decided this was the thing.
Which would
and there's
suggest
no
to me that the
explanation.
range of time was wrong. So, anyway. Again, I would look at which vaccine and I would look at the statistics.
This was discussions
But-
of COVID vaccine.
Yes.
As of 4 days ago, U.S. CDC says COVID-related myocarditis much lower for children than teens. So yeah, somewhere in there.
Yep, I expect it has to do with the high levels of testosterone or something like that. Incidentally, there's a reason women were less severely affected than men.
Testosterone.
Lack of testosterone.
Cute.
So, anyway.
I can't wait to hear the crazy shouting about how
It's not progesterone. What's the other one? Female hormone.
Estrogen.
Estrogen. That estrogen is protective against COVID.
All right, for this next story, I am cracking open a teeny tiny bottle of wine because I'm fucking done with this shit.
Well, we still have some more.
You
Despite what
have
the
more health threats?
yes,
Cool.
despite what the fool in the White House said, there is no evidence that monkeypox represents a broad threat. Right?
Unless he's got information we don't fucking have.
Then I'd present it differently than that.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Moneypox does. Moneypox is a real fucking problem.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and the last one is climate weirding. So 4 people are dead, 900,000 homes without power after Ontario and Quebec were pounded by what they described as a strong summer thunderstorm. It's fucking May. First of all, it's not a summer thunderstorm. And second, it's insanely early in the season. So, again, welcome to climate weirding. Get used to it. There's going to be a lot more of it.
Yep.
All right.
So we're doing our voice thing. Me, 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 me.
All right, now we're going to shit on Rick Scott, because fuck that dude 10 ways from Sunday. Florida Senator Rick Scott, you know, that one with that 11-point dumb plan and wants to tax people that make no money so they can have, quote
Well,
unquote,
instead of taxing the rich.
let me finish.
Yeah, all
So
right.
they can have, quote unquote, skin in the game because their husbands and
Living through
family
it
members
isn't
working is not fucking good enough for Rick Scott. And God forbid, this piece of shit make sure that the people who are giving him billions of dollars, I'm over exaggerating,
Who are paying him to focus in the wrong direction so they won't tax the rich.
No,
Well, they're
he's
paying
got
him to get
people-
others to focus. in
He's
their
got
own-
people
Yes.
paying him money to make sure that they don't have to fucking pay taxes.
Yes.
So fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So, for our YouTube folks, I'm going to put his most recent tweet, and I'll read it out loud for the rest of you. But it's on the board right now. He said, approximately 4 hours before we started this show, he said, as Americans struggle to make ends meet, thanks to his raging inflation, which we've already discussed, Joe Biden celebrates their suffering. Biden is incompetent and incoherent, but he's made one thing very clear. He could care less about the problems he's caused for your family, and he links to a New York Post article, which I read, and is trash.
Yes. Okay.
is
Everything from the New York
absolute
Post is
trash.
trash.
So, here's the thing.
It's a rethug house organ.
Well, it was the prototype for Fox News.
Yeah.
Every right-wing snot rag is raging that Biden is praising high gas prices. These are the words they're using. Even though that's not what he said at all. They all pick out his words, incredible transition, in quotes, and somehow twist that into praise. Just a reminder for those of you who are curious, Oil prices have declined about 20% from their March peak, yet retail gas prices only went down about 4% as of early April. 4%. Even though the actual cost of gas went down 20%. So,
We've known
whose
all
problem
along
is
this was
this?
price gouging.
So,
The way to get rid of this is a windfall profits tax and enforce it aggressively
So let's talk about
with
Somehow that
federal
would get
criminal
mentioned to-
penalties.
let's
Vote.
talk about what
Vote.
Biden said,
Profit.
and you tell me
Mentions
if
a
this,
coal baron. He's
Yeah.
not voting for.
you tell me if this sounds like praising high gas prices. He says, and I quote, "When it comes to gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place. God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger, and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over," Biden said during his press conference in Japan following his meeting with Prime Minister Fumiko Kishida. The president then said that his administration's actions have been keeping things from, quote, keeping it from getting worse, and it's bad. End quote.
Yeah,
So
didn't see any
what
celebration
part
there.
of that is him praising? Like, what the
Yep.
fuck? These right-wing news rags, and that's what I'm going to call them, because I would sooner blow my nose on them and throw
Hey.
them in the fucking
They're
fire
an old haunted
than read them.
ruin of architecture from when the print media was trying the duopoly garbage.
So you have two choices. It's older. This is a 60s or 70s description of right-wing media. One of them was, you could say the New York Post doesn't even burn right. The other is putting a New York Post in the bottom of your birdcage is redundant.
Fair. All right. I want to remind y'all how Rick Scott's voting record, how it stands right now.
Okay.
He voted against the voting rights bill, saying that Dems will use it to cheat in future elections and that Dems want to win at all costs. Huh.
Methinks you does project
Talk
too
about
much.
This sounds like
about
some real serious
displacement.
projection to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Everything that's going on in his stupid small little mind, he is blaming on other people.
It's
Yeah.
a good move. It works.
No, there's absolutely nothing that scares a Republican as badly as the idea of people voting.
Yeah.
Nothing scares them that bad.
Now, this threw me off a bit because I was totally expecting something completely different. The 117th Congress Infant Formula Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2022. He voted for it. Is this some weird grift or like a trick? Fuck, it really is backwards in his world. This is really going against everything. He voted for it.
Pre-positioning.
He voted for it even though his Florida buddies in the House voted against it. Like all of his buddies voted against
Made it
it.
a safe vote.
Obviously, he's fucking up to something. So keep your eye on
He's
this.
running in 2024.
Yeah.
But I also want to remind you that he
Or
voted
VP.
no on the infrastructure bill and then took credit
Oh, yeah.
for a $1.1 billion that Florida got out of it to save the fucking Everglades. Everything he and Marco Rubio tried to put into the bill got voted down, with other Republicans voting against them. So no, he had absolutely nothing to do with getting those funds, and in fact, voted against them. I repeat, voted against them.
Yeah, but that doesn't keep him and little boy Rubio from, right? Anyway.
This is ridiculous and so backwards, right? Like he is projecting everything that the Republican Party is doing in the process of doing and saying it's the Democrats doing it. Like, what are we, 5? Like,
No,
everything,
it goes on
everything you
pan
say, I'm just
media.
gonna, it's like rubber and glue and...
It gives them a thing to push back if he goes on The View or something with Chuck Todd or wherever the kind people live.
Yeah. And again, America's wonderful, wonderful free press isn't reporting this properly, which would be to say, Rick Scott said today these 4 things, all of them were lies.
Yeah. our media gets lost in the argument about, well, if they believe it, is it a lie? And, oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
not cutting fucking philosophical shit like that. You're just telling
No.
me what the truth observable is.
Absolutely. Well, and remember that American media couldn't be less interested in truth or the survival of the United States. They're interested in selling fucking laundry detergent.
Yep, right up until the last minute.
Until you get to Fox News, where they're trying to sell, well, anyway.
Catheters.
Catheter. Gold won't work in the
Whatever the
apocalypse,
latest
guys.
crypto
Most
scam
real-
is.
Catheters, gold, fucking gold is their crypto. That's what it is.
It's an old nonsense from the old grifts.
Yeah.
It's the gold bug people and the gold standard kids. Well, if there's an apocalypse, then your gold won't be worth shit. How much jewelry do you think we're gonna make, motherfucker?
Yeah.
You would do better to pack books and canned food.
Yep.
This is very simple, everybody. Okay,
Download the internet and find a way to run a computer.
this is all very simple. All right, news outlets don't have your back. They don't. Don't trust that person who's really nice you see every night on TV. They're in your home. They're telling you the news. Like, don't trust them because they are aggressively not your friend. Like they were just saying, all they're trying to do is sell you something. It's real simple. If somebody tries to tell you that God says blah blah blah, and it is not like your local tiny church leader or whatever, and it's not like about like being a better person and being good to others and that sort of stuff, they are lying to you on their faces. They don't fucking care about you. If these people have, okay, if your preacher or priest or whatever, pastor, whatever word you use, has a, big home, like $1 million home, they're not your friend. If they can afford a private jet, they're not your friend. If they are coming to you saying, are you jealous of me? Give me more money because God says that if you give me money, you will get more money. They are not your fucking friend. They don't
It appears
give a fuck.
that the executive committee of the Southern Baptist Convention stonewalled against clergy sex abuse victims. Big fucking shock.
That's my point. This is exactly my point.
Their corner of the grift.
Yep.
These people are grifters and they're out for your money and your support.
Yep.
So that they can downtrodden people who don't believe in the things that you believe. If somebody comes and tells you that an LGBTQ person is your enemy, they are your real enemy.
Absolutely.
Not the LGBTQ person who wants to help you out and will probably give you the shirt off their back if you fucking needed it.
Well, but you stumble and need assistance, they're going to come after you.
They're going to make you have this baby, and then they're going to ignore you and complain that you are a what's the term? Something queen.
A taker.
Welfare queen. They're going to call you a welfare queen or a welfare king or a taker, not a giver. They're going to call you all these names, but they're the ones that forced you into this situation in the first place. But they're not going to take any responsibility for it, and they're not going to help you out.
Republicans take responsibility?
Oh, fuck that. That's too much work to have to give money to these people that we force to have children. Mind you, having a child is $20,000.
Most Republicans aren't bright enough to figure out what their
And
responsibilities
that's
would be.
assuming your entire pregnancy goes completely as planned.
Yep.
So we're going to put these women in dire straits to have a child and then say, oh, you can just put it up for adoption. It's fine. But I already spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 having this baby, and now I'm just going to give it away and still have to pay these bills? That's insane.
Yes, that's their idea.
Insane.
Yeah, no, it's about making life fucking Nintendo hard. It's about making a single mistake detonate your life, and
Right, but not for men, just for the women. Just for the women. It
Oh,
only
well,
Oh no,
affects women.
it's for working folks of every stripe.
Oh, well, for sure with the rest of their stuff, but the abortion thing does not affect men in any way whatsoever.
Absolutely does.
No, it
it's
doesn't.
part of
Yes.
And
Do you know how many men avoid paying child support? It's a thing. It happens all the time.
Right, but you're ignoring the fact that many of the women who are being forced to have babies are in fact married, and their husbands' lives are being wrecked as thoroughly as theirs are.
That's true. No, that's fair. I hadn't looked
Okay.
at it from that angle before. Well, and their children who potentially are male that they already have, because most women who get abortions already have one or two children.
It,
A large portion
Yes.
of them, and
it's
we're
genuine
we're
ass family
using
planning like it's supposed to.
we're
be.
using birth control and all that stuff, and then
Oh, no.
fucking
this is what
act-
The
This is
Republicans,
how they believe.
there are a number of Republicans who are going to go after all forms of birth
Oh, yeah.
control as
And-
being unnatural and
that's insane.
against the will of Galwad.
It's insanity.
Right.
It truly is. Because this whole theocracy bullshit that they're trying to shove down our throats, we should rail against that. Like they're trying to put us in a car and take us to a second location. We should not let them take us to the second fucking location.
Well, we should start calling them who they are, which is the American Taliban.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and I made a very good meme about that.
Taliban means Council of Elders, but it's not.
We saw that speaking of the Taliban, the women on television had refused to
Yes.
wear their face coverings.
It's you.
So
Dead
the
now.
Taliban showed up and forced them to wear face coverings.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the ray of sunshine part of that.
Yeah, what's the ray of sunshine?
Their male counterparts are wearing masks on television now too.
Are they? I did not hear
I
that.
saw the
That is
headline. I
so
haven't checked it
fucking
out.
cool.
I wasn't going to mention it until I'd really run it down.
All right.
I'm just impressed they weren't all murdered on their faces.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
exactly. And like
impressive.
that's
That's the
part of why I
next
wanna
step.
Throw rocks. too
You're
far.
looking at a Taliban that everybody said would be, well, they'll be much kinder and gentler. No, they're the same goat fucks they've always been.
It's like the Republican
And we
Party.
should starve them to
They're
death.
incels with AKs.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
the
that's all they are.
ANN, or I don't know, I'm assuming it's Afghan News Network or whatever, gets Charlie Hebdo wildly easier than everyone else. And so I'm not going to throw too many fucking stones when they go, okay, but the reality of the thing is they're just going to show up with a fucking technical and they're just going to do what they want to everyone in the building. So
Yep.
maybe let's not get everyone killed on Tuesday.
Right. Yeah.
That going dark is worse.
Yeah.
Because
Let us make sure they don't get any international money of any kind.
yeah.
Right?
So-
And they can explain to their population why they're hungry.
I don't mind us putting some cash in, but I want to put it in some sketchy fucking places.
Yeah.
We
Fair.
arm the opposition.
Yes, I
Go
think we
kill
fucking
some
did that.
fucking
We left enough
tallies.
shit behind. And no, I would do this one right. CIA, this is your chance to unfuck yourself. 9/11 and the like 20-year blackout. We're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, but the real point is, right, when you're looking at these Republicans and they're saying all this shit to you, first of all, they're lying. They're lying through their fucking teeth. None of them believe in any of this. This isn't deep held beliefs. This isn't Christian whatever.
Certainly
and
not
it's
for the
really-
Republican
If,
leadership.
if you have ever read the Bible, you will understand that nothing in the Bible says anything against abortions. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
If you want me to believe the Bible's in any way attached to a deity who means anything other than like I don't know how one kills a deity, but exactly that, then it's going to have to be everything else, right? That it's a book written in support of, right? Any holy text that wants to claim a right to exist has to be there to comfort the fucking afflicted.
Yep.
And if you're telling me it's a hate manual, then shit, throw that on a bonfire. We don't need any of that around here. Humans can't be trusted with God, cocaine, or money.
Well, and one of the fun things that I love to throw at a lot of these fucking Christians is that the Bible itself says, you shall worship no other God above me, which suggests there are other gods.
Oh, yeah.
Highly suggests that there are many other gods to choose from, but you can pray to them, but you still have to pray to him above all others. So let's
Reason
keep
number
this in mind.
117, risen isn't allowed in most churches.
Yeah.
No, I actually get sick in churches. It makes me really uncomfortable. I think I have panic attacks. It's weird.
I can't
But
believe
anyway.
burning sage. So whatever that says about me.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, sage is a very particular. It's got a very
Yeah.
pungent odor, and different people react differently to it. But anyway, the point is that this Republican Party is exactly your grandfather's Republican Party, no matter what they're going to try to tell you.
Right.
Who was the one
Same fucking people.
Yep. The Klan.
that worked for
Yeah.
Nixon?
The
Who
white
pointed it out?
supremacists who, call themselves white
This is the
supremacists, but are really
Republicans-
Nazis.
This is the Dixiecrats that became the Republicans that took over the Republicans that have no interest in the Southern strategy, except, or they're done with it now. Right now,
They have succeeded.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're in export phase.
All
So I have to praise my grandfather.
Hell yeah.
who left the Democratic Party when they became Dixiecrats
Yep.
and walked away.
You can't be racist, motherfuckers.
He was the majority whip of the Alabama state legislature when he turned on his heel and walked away.
Yep.
Good. Well played. All right.
We got a good thing.
Oh,
Yep.
quick, good thing. Let's go.
I don't know. Maybe it's a long good thing.
However long it takes. We need a good thing to round this out.
Policy,
because
Department of
this is
Justice, value and preserve human life, don't care. Here we go. So the DOJ just changed their rules of use of force rules to recognize and act upon the affirmative duty to intervene and protect or stop, as appropriate, any officer from engaging in excessive force or any other use of force that violates the Constitution,
All
other
right.
federal laws, or department policies on reasonable use of force. They then list out all the things it applies, and there are several notable exemptions, but that may just be right. That may not be part of the full statement.
Yeah.
But first off, that's got a bunch of words in it that have some fucking meaning.
Yep.
You can fire cats for not acting on affirmative duty to da-da-da-da.
It also means that if you're at the scene and they're doing that, you have a duty to stop them, even if it involves deadly force.
Yes.
Okay.
No, they are trained aggressors now acting upon a human who's at worst like partially restrained.
Yep.
Like, no, we'll see how this rolls out and a bunch of other stuff, but that is the kind of change you need to see and enforce.
Yep.
Like, the problem with statements like this is cool. We'll know really quick whether or not they make it real.
Yep.
So Biden, wake the fuck up. See what the people want.
Yeah.
We want.
Democrats, wake the fuck up. Stop going to the nice parties and start trying to do something for working folks. Or get used to living under the American Taliban.
We want a living wage, which is now 23, 24, 25, 25, we'll say $25 an hour. We want a living wage. We want universal fucking health care. And we want our, people who are struggling with so much of this mental illness and just nowhere to go and nothing to do and can't fucking trust anybody because every time they've tried to trust, their trust has been broken. We need to fucking fix this.
Yeah. Well, we know we've got several problems that'll have to be addressed at a societal level. I think we're going to find out the plastic accumulations in humans ain't a good thing.
I agree.
But, no, we'll see.
I feel more bad for my little teeny tiny.
I can't tell if it's just
Better
Merrick Garland
homes.
trying to get off the X and...
Shit, I hadn't thought about it.
So,
But the Southwest may be a particularly troublesome area
both cases.
because the grocery bags turn into glass
Oh, yeah.
and then shatter and are blown across by the wind and turned
dust.
into microscopic plastic dust,
Yeah.
which then circulates on the wind.
I thought they were selling those bags as biodegradable.
I'm willing to bet that's a marketing term.
They do have plastics nowadays that as soon as they hit dirt and are like buried or whatever, they will biodegrade into biodegradable things.
What do they do if they don't get buried by something? Like, it's great for...
It's related to the organisms in the dirt that'll start
My
eating
point.
them. You know?
So, no, this
So the
sounds a
one
lot
that's
like-
caught in the fence.
Yeah.
Right, is just gonna.
This sounds a lot like somebody up marketing landfill tech, which, hey, I'm all the fuck about.
Yeah.
I used to remember when I worked at a movie theater, it was fucking great. Did you know there's a magazine for movie theaters?
Yes.
And it's just fabulous. Because everywhere I've ever gone and every job I've ever had, you find out there's magazines for that job.
Right.
And so, no.
They tell you how to upsell people, mostly.
Oh, and I've
Well, it's the
recently
new tech and
seen a debate on Facebook about robbing from like Walmart, and that people who steal like formula or baby stuff should be fuck them. I want you to understand. I've worked at a Walmart. The amount of shoplifting in each store is not enough to really affect their bottom line, right? They're still making money at the end of the day, hand over fist. But they try to there's posters all over the back rooms that say, you could buy 3 Vespas and live on an island for 6 months or something. And I'm like, cool, that sounds cheap as fuck. What's your complaint again about the amount of money? Like, they just have these ridiculous things posted about what you could buy with the money that particular store lost the last year, and all of it was insane and stupid and cheap. It was
And
like
unless it's
$150,000. That's nothing. That is a drop in the bucket for the Walmart.
And unless
Corporation.
it's very different than other retail organizations, 85% of Walmart's losses are employee theft.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
That's
because
who
they. Go
That's
ahead.
who's got access.
Bingo. That's who can take a fucking pallet of stuff and be walking around with it and no one's going to wonder.
Right.
Well, and not only that, but add on top of that the fact that they are not paying their workers a living wage.
Right.
We've done that episode. Like, we've talked about the fact that many of the times that Walmart does a food drive, it's internal.
And again, I'm not saying I did not enjoy working for Walmart. This is not a hit on Walmart.
It's
as
not a
an
hit on your
employer.
coworkers at Walmart.
Exactly.
Fuck the bosses.
Yeah, no.
All of them everywhere.
This is a hit on the CEOs who are
Yeah,
whining
twice on
and
the C-suite
complaining
cats.
about the $100,000 per store that they're losing a year, which is fucking nothing.
And doing everything they
Everybody's
can to
jobs are
avoid
hard.
unions and all the rest of it. Can't have working folks making a decent living, or they won't want to work for me for $10 an hour.
My fucking favorite is the Sears. Sears. Remember Sears and Roebuck, the company that expanded across the United States with
Yeah.
us, and it's going away or gone.
Yeah.
And a big chunk of that is they got the CEO decided that the way to make companies better, the thing that made companies special, was competitiveness.
Yeah.
And so he made the different departments compete. And I'm sure I've told the story before, but it took about a week before the individual departments realized that fucking with other departments.
Was more effective. Yeah.
And so you just answer the phone in automotive and be like, "Hey, go fuck your mom, asshole." Like, scamper off.
Yeah.
No,
Alrighty.
it turns it into the most vicious of fights, and it's gross. And that is not the model of capitalism anyone should be looking at.
No, I enjoyed working with the people I worked with at Walmart. My managers were nice and understanding and all that shit. But the higher ups need to fucking get their fucking story straight and understand that nobody gives a fuck when your company is losing $140,000 a fucking year, considering the billions and trillions of dollars that fucking Walmart as a whole is bringing in every fucking year. Because guess what? You made yourselves the place where the poor people shop.
I'll worry about your loss numbers when they're bigger than your PAC contribution.
There you go.
And when
I
your
like that.
employees look the other way because somebody is picking up some extra baby shit because they can't afford it, that's on you.
Man,
And
imagine.
that's on you not paying your employees enough. So fuck you. You take the hit and fucking shut up about it. That's what I'm
imagine
saying.
the ad copy you could write if you ran one of these corporations and just closed your lobbying.
Yeah.
And stop being part of that. And you know what? We're going to stand with Americans. Whatever that means, good or bad, we'll be here with you.
Yep.
I will also say the amount of free product that Walmart had me give out to people when I was working in my, department, probably well goes over the fucking overhead for what's been lost.
No,
So-
the big problem it's got is it's an easy measurable number.
Yeah.
Right.
And they
All
can blame
right.
it on somebody.
Yes.
Fair. So,
Well, and if you have them watching each other, they're less likely to unionize. Because I remember when I worked for Walmart, they were real blunt and open about that in the beginning, that if you say the word union, we will fire you.
oh yeah, they have Union Buster videos you have to watch.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, fucking, you know what? Fucking Walmart workers, go make a union. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us a fucking $1. We need a fucking ear shit.
Yeah.
You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. And hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight. And don't forget, you can Google us, BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, on Facebook, and all links will lead you to us still.
Good night and good luck, dum-dums.
We love y'all. We'll see you back here tomorrow night on BoomerRexTonight.
Shoot all your kids on color.
All right.